you doing today?
Outstanding.
So Coronado is in Machu Picchu,
Machu Picchu.
and Rich and Lansing are climbing mountains and exploring some new territory. So I'm going to be hosting the meeting today. So let's get rolling. So we're doing an all-time drawing with Elizabeth. Farmers, how are we doing today?
Great.
All right, we got some fun goodies.
Yeah. You guys got trivia on me, apparently.
We got a trivia game that Sam's going to be running.
We do.
Move your big head.
I'm gonna move my big head. Yeah, so it's scan here, you can QR, and then we're gonna get rolling. Don't too fast, Sam. Not working. My head, well. All right, guys.
All right, I'm
Just capturing it.
Not working because my line is. Yeah.
There.
That's right.
Technical difficulties. We're all welcome.
Are we good?
Yeah.
All right, we're starting.
Yeah, once we get started.
Should I join as well, or?
I mean,
Let me get this.
You want to watch yourself? Oh, it is.
you ready? No? Luke joined, Bree joined. Got 10 to keep. Dag, join.
So we're not shouting out the answers, all right?
Yeah, don't do that.
Unless you know that.
No, don't do that.
I can't say I know it's not about Elizabeth yet.
All right, we're starting. We ready? Faster answers, more points. What is the industry of Elizabeth's company?
Oh, I know that one.
Is it insurance, is it investing, or is it home warranty?
Oh, boy. Is it a trick question? Is home warranty a variation of insurance?
Insurance, whoever gets home warranty. That was a good guess. Eric. And Bree.
All right.
All right, next question.
Number two. It's gonna be a team system.
Which photo is Elizabeth as a child?
Oh my God.
So this one, I can just throw out.
Again.
Dad's got curly hair, which is cool. Aviators for sure.
I don't know, Bree could get it. Oh. Chad's creeping up.
Get it here.
Where was Elizabeth's first job ever? In life. Was it Panda Express, hot dog on a stick, or the bar? I'm gonna be on the wall. Oh.
Nailed it.
All right, so.
Chad, correction it. Never met Elizabeth in his life. Nailed it. Snowy?
Is it Santa Cruz, San Jose, or San Ramon?
Come on, man.
Santa Cruz.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Oh.
You guys connected with us? Is that, what was it, $50 answer?
No, for this one, this is Elizabeth's gift. So Elizabeth is the on-time drawing.
All right.
sponsor. Elizabeth is.
Then she takes the
gift
floor.
giver of this.
This is super clever. I've never seen.
Yeah, Sam put it all together.
Okay, well, I'm gonna take my little 5 minutes of fame, if that, to talk about something really super important today. So everybody knows October is Breast Cancer Awareness Month, right?
Yeah.
So in the US, this year, 264,000 women will be diagnosed with breast cancer and 2,400 men. So important, right? To not, you guys hear a lot about this in KW, it's like, you gotta just face through your fears, like packet action, right? Based in your life. So get checked, whether you're a man or a woman, it's super duper important to do self-checks for women to get mammograms. Don't avoid it, because I know the whole rumor is that it hurts and all these other things. But, and if you have a history in your family, certainly pair up with your doctor to maybe get mammograms earlier than 40 for women. So those are really some suggestions for just living a healthy life, right? Limit the alcohol use. What?
I have a male friend who died of breast cancer. He
Wow.
was a BRCA carrier, which is an abnormality, but he was a man, breast cancer and died.
So, yes, I know, limit alcohol use, but alcohol's fine, but overabundance of anything, smoking, alcohol, eating foods out of a box.
Processed
Deodorants that have processed food, deodorants that have parabens and metals in them, so
Don't like it.
honestly, guys, it's just a lot about, you can just help, we can only do our best, but really think about that. So there are a couple things going on, right, in Sacramento, because Sacramento supports breast cancer awareness, so does anybody know that Sunday, there is a walk at the Capitol?
I'm registered.
Awesome, so 8 AM, anybody can go, there's lots of fun festivities, there's a business village where I will be, come see me, get fun freebies, I got lots of free stuff to give away to the community, and it's a way to just be a participant and support, right, support anyone, men and women in our community. So come for that, 8 AM on Sunday, it's down at the Capitol. And you can just Google Making Strides for Breast Cancer Sacramento to get the details. I will send it out to KW mail group. However, if you haven't gotten me out of your junk mail, lots of times it goes in the junk mail. So just check on that. And then I have been raising money so far, $3,500 for breast cancer awareness in the last month. So these are available to you. I take them or cash, $10, either one or the other. This is a reusable shopping bag and support, or a reusable lunch bag and support of our community. So that's what's going on.
I'll grab a lunch bag from you.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Any questions for me, guys? And hopefully we'll get on the schedule to do some kind of a insurance 101 for you guys, because ultimately I'm not going to talk about insurance today, but it is important to right size insurance to where you are in your life. And a lot of people forget about that, right? So I can help you with that.
Cool. Well, thank you for sharing. Certainly a good cause. Certainly relevant. I love it.
You will. I want
Very cool, very cool.
to-
A very good cause. My mom was diagnosed with breast cancer last November. And she went through the radiation, doing a lot better now. Certainly a brutal process getting through all that, but it's certainly a cause near and dear to my heart. So definitely help support. Yeah, thanks for sharing. Appreciate it. All right, let's get rolling. All right, so a few spooky reminders. Please turn your cell phones off. We got to empty the fridge on Fridays. That includes myself, my team, and everybody else. Meeting rooms, please be respectful. Were we calling people out here? I think it was my team members. I don't want to name any names. It might be me too. Everything on here is something that I violate. So I was a little reluctant to throw myself under the bus. Park only in your spot. I park a mental list every day. But after I started this meeting, I'm gonna hold myself accountable. I'll only park there a couple times a week. I'm gonna limit it to, 50%. Because I do take measurements, so it's a little different when you park in this spot. Let's keep rolling. Spooky requests here. Where are we at? We originally said we were gonna put this in the back.
Yeah, and then Bruce wanted to touch on it, so
Bruce?
Bruce is gonna come up and say the thing.
Don't text, don't call, don't talk to people. Bruce, where you at? Yes, we know that.
But if you don't have a prior business relationship with somebody, you shouldn't be calling them. That's basically it. Now, ongoing, this is really timely. This morning, I downloaded the five most common area codes around here from the National Do Not Call Registry. I've got them segmented. They will be out on the probably the Sac Metro hub. That has yet to be figured out, but you will be able to pull a copy down so you can search numbers. I was very happy this morning when I searched 916. I actually did discover that, contrary to all of the dozens of spam calls I get every single day, mine and my wife's phone number really is on it. So, it, as far as the numbers being there, that's one thing. Whether they actually work, that's another. Just so you know, though, these are huge spreadsheets. And when you go to the search numbers, it may take a while. They are in numerical order. But for example, 916 had 1,048,409 phone numbers. So anyway, yeah, but the best way to do it is don't call if you don't have a prior business relationship.
Unless you're willing to fork out $500 or $1,500 per call violation.
Yes, yeah.
Okay, so you gotta play the odds a little.
Well, no, you don't.
Then tell me. Okay.
Yeah, you get pop, if they choose to pop you for it, it is per instance. And I have heard of them going after some substantial spammers. Mainly the ones I've heard about were the robocallers. They're just leaving messages, and those guys are doing thousands of these calls at a time. So those fines are pretty big.
I get text messages daily, and I actually now add them to my database, because they're always inquiring like on my properties, so that, hey, you have any deals that are circulating? So sometimes it can be good, if you're building the database, other times it isn't like that. All right, moving on, bucket fills. What is bucket filling? I don't know. Actions or words that show that you care about somebody. This is where we take time to fill the buckets of others. So, we're going to share some gratitude, compliments, and kindness. Sam, why don't you start us off?
I'm thankful for Melinda. Melinda helps me every time this training room has to be torn down or put up or rearranged or anything. She's there, no questions asked, not her job. She shouldn't have to. She'll literally get mad at me if I start without her. Thank you. You're such a big help in doing that. I love you so much.
Thank you for kicking us off. Linda, I want to thank you as well, because we've been wearing the onesie that you made. Casey, our youngest one, which is watch your mouth, asshole, I'm a baby, or something like that. Maybe, sorry, and then let's say the hat. And I'm also in gratitude for my wife. We had our third anniversary yesterday.
Say thank you, Bobby, for hosting team.
Yeah.
And to our awesome team, everybody that's part of it, we couldn't do what we do without every single one of you guys. Thank you.
Is this replacing something good? Okay, cool. Anybody else? Anybody else? I guess on that note, I want to give people a shout out. If you haven't met Chloe, we just brought her on our team. Going to be filling some notes, well, actually, as primary admin on our team, which is going to be falling into listing manager and in sales. And also, this oversized human over here, Chad, is running through the hallways. You may be wondering, who is this tall gentleman? Burly Chad. He's joining our team, my team as well, for investing. Well, so Chad is, you haven't met him.
Yeah, you guys are movie stars now.
Yes,
Yeah.
we are getting our social media game going. Stay tuned. There's more funny footage to come. Good. Yeah, Rich and I often do push-up contests. He's not here yet. So we're gonna keep moving on.
I had assumed Chad was security. To be honest.
In general, he is. I feel so much safer with this guy around me. And we go to a lot of vacant properties sometimes. Like I go in there, I feel tougher. Yeah. Like the little mouse that's barking, you got the big dog. Cat going. Yeah. No, I've been going first still, but it's rolling behind. So. All right. Has anybody seen Lansing Rich or John?
On social
They're
media.
cruising around and going through. They're even doing reels. John did his first reel. They're very blurry. Rich, did I try to FaceTime us the other day?
Oh, wow. That's rich.
That is great. They look a little different.
Look, we just hiked to the top of Cusco. We're taking the viewing for you, but let's get from our bros here. What's up, King Double? You got It's a club here. It's our second day in Cusco. We are in a place called Saksaya Woman. Sexy woman, just like what. Yeah. Second day, we're trying to do a daily video update, but hey, we miss you guys. We'll give you more updates soon.
Hey guys, Rich here. Yeah, we just went to the top now, not now, just Cusco. The elevation change is real, altitude is real. Food's great. John's gonna be guinea pig tonight.
Oh, yeah.
But why don't you take a look at this?
Beautiful. Viva el Perú. Viva el Perú. Hey, save money, guys. We're doing this every single year. Every year, we're gonna connect the country and save your money. Let's do this. Yes.
You ready? Let's go. All right. Thanks for sharing that. That's awesome. It's kind of interesting. Peru has a lot of like semi-inappropriate names for areas. Like, don't they have Lake Titicaca or something like that? They do. It's in Peru. It's a real thing. And then whatever
Look it up. America's got quite a few of those.
land you, do we?
Oh, yeah.
Welcome to the family. All right, new agents. Welcome, welcome. Well, we'll start with Mr. Brandon Hunter. Congratulations. Why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself? Brandon.
I'm from the slideshow for agent. Started with Bobby about 5 years ago, the marketing director, and held a lot of different positions, learned a lot. Now I'm my own agent, so going for rookie of the year, watch out.
Hey, Brandon. Jimmy. I'm grateful that you're here and that you are. Congratulations. Then we have Amanda Henderson. You online or here? Haven Bishop. What's up? Brianna Theus, Catherine Lewis,
I know we got Brianna on.
John. Anybody here?
Brianna, are you there?
I see her.
Okay, welcome.
Welcome.
Cool. All right, congratulations, cappers. Valentina, all right, congratulations. And it's always a good feeling. No money to find. Swan, but you only got to cap in like 1 day, right? 7 days. Swan sells like $10 million worth of property. So we'll drop in the bucket. So just closed in October. People are still selling that, right? Harm. So we're just running all the names and.
Absolutely, yeah, sure.
Sorry, well, there it is. All right, Harm.
You got this, Bob.
Harm with 9, Swan with 4, Bobby Knapp with 2, Lindsay with 2, Dolores 2, Jose 2, Julian 2, Eternity in Peru 2, Rich in Peru 2, Amethyst 1, Dana, Andre, Erica, Esperanza, sold their house, they're out of here, moving to Colorado.
We'll talk about that.
Boom, little tears from them. Jose, Julia, Nara, Bet, Bonnice, Jacqueline, AZ, Kathy, Karen, Andy, Bonnie, Byron, Dennis, Jenny, John Lashek, my man, Kimberly, Melinda, we crushed it, Mike and Taylor. This is boohoo right there. Can someone take a picture? So like, almost, you should have put the last. Can you put the last? Just kidding. All right, Alicia and the gang, whatever. Pitch your listing. All right, we got a couple. Who wants to start?
I'll start.
Linda.
Sorry. We have 2 listings, both in Citrus Heights. One's at 6239 Gettysburg Lane. It's a 1040 square feet, listed at 169. It's a mobile home park. and the fee is $9.54 for the fee or whatever it is. And then we have another one at 7952 Arcade Lake Lane. This is a condo and it has a lake view. It's absolutely beautiful. The only problem is the HOA fee is $5.19 a month.
Change that name.
Is the mobile home, age restricted?
No.
Cool. You get a tough time with one of those. Anybody else? Yeah.
We had a listing
We do.
in South area at 1764 71st. Yes, that is the address. 3 bedroom, 2 bath. It's around 1,400 square feet. Redone inside, it's very nice, laminate floors, fresh paint, landscaping. Everything's been remodeled in it. Really cute property for $430. So if you guys have any buyers, we have a very motivated seller.
All right. Anybody else? 4:30.
420.
Dex, what do you got? And I got a couple to rattle off.
Yeah, I got a couple of rentals, that I'd like to let people know about. We have one on Messina, which is a 2-bedroom, 1 bath, for 2,200. We have one on, let's see, Club Center is still there. We did do a price reduction and it's now $25.95. That is a 4-bedroom, 2.5 bath, really nice house on Club Center. It's only about 5 years old. We have on B Street, a 2-bedroom, 1 bath apartment. That's gonna be $16.25. That B Street is right near, down Midtown area. The Messina is near Sac State.
Dex, real quick, I know we've talked a couple times, but what is your update on the rental market?
Much like the, real estate market, the rest of the real estate market, it has slowed somewhat. Again, we just did a price reduction on one of our properties. We, like others, this time of the year, it slows down also. You know, people have already moved without a holiday. They'll probably pick up again, you know, in the springtime when people start moving again. One of the things that we're running into is rental fraud. Very rampant right now, I would say, to the point that people, there's a company in San Francisco that will actually produce pay stubs, fake pay stubs. Wow. I had a situation, and you know, they'll tell you, oh, I work from home, you know. I say, well, give me an address or give me your email for your HR. I literally had to drive by one address that the potential tenant, really nice person, very professional looking, everything, you know, it just wouldn't imagine. And the business wasn't there. And then I called her on it. She's like, oh, all right. You know, so that's really, you know, with this age of technology, you know, you can produce a virtual person, basically. I had one person yesterday apply to 2 different properties that we were listing, and they just changed the first name, but all the rest of the information was exactly the same.
Wow. Crazy, crazy.
It's pretty crazy out there. So
Thanks
if
for
you have,
sharing that.
homeowners that want to do it themselves, just tell them they really need to be
Careful.
careful.
Yeah. Well, yeah, you guys need tenant placement, certainly recommend your investing clients, landlord clients, definitely reach out to a professional company for that. Last question. So, you know, you said price drops, like, are you getting tenants like offering less? Like, you know, we offer 10% less, like if you get a $2,000, or you got that up on Zillow or something, are they coming in like, I'll pay $1,800?
No,
And they go,
not yet.
nothing like that, yeah.
The main thing is just, again, qualifying them for their credit,
Yeah,
their income, which we usually
Right.
minimum 2.5
right,
to 3 times the rent.
right,
And, you know, of course, good rental history,
right.
clean background check.
Got it, cool. All right, well, thanks for sharing it. We actually have a couple other listings. One in Woodland is 51 2nd Street. It's a 3-bedroom, 1 bath in Woodland, just remodeled, downtown Woodland. I know Woodland very well. We're all been coaching me on this one. Anyway, it's got it's on a quarter lot. It's got a detached garage, a private entrance. I had plans for it to be an ADU. So if you had any clients that were looking to have an additional unit, you have that option to do that. It's going to be 470,000, 1,200 square feet. Really cute house. built in the 40s, I think it was, and new roof, remodel kitchen floors, windows, things like that. I also have one in East Sacramento. It's been sitting, a lot of things are sitting these days, we're taking some price drops at 627 44th Street. That was on a corner lot as well, with a deep 1-car garage, 3-bed, 2-bath, about 1,300 square feet. That one's, I think, about 780 or something like that now, but really nice neighborhood in East Sacramento. Lastly, I'll just mention one that we got off the phone today that's gonna go live, it sounds like early November. It's about 850,000, I think it is, downtown, 2225 T Street, about 2,600 square feet. And the guy's willing to do a seller carry on it. So he's willing to do 5% interest seller carry on it. He's pretty savvy with that. So I don't know if you have any buyers that are in that jumbo range, bigger range, big house, and it also has a basement that can easily be converted to an AD as well. Downtown, could be a cool Airbnb, cool rental property, 5% interest rate. He's willing to carry.
What's that address again?
2225 T Street.
What's the lot size for women?
Good question. Great question. It's like 8,000 square feet, I think. It's got a really nice backyard. It's spacious. It's got this weeping willow. It's a weeping willow. It looks very zen back there. It's very zen. Yeah. All right, let's get rolling of it. Coming soon. So contact the folks here if you want to take pictures of these
It'll be
ones.
posted online and stuff, yeah.
Price range as well. We post it online. Cool. Let's keep rolling. Congratulations, first transactions. Bonnie, her luck, all right. This is your first transaction. All right. Bonnie's been crushing it for a while.
Oh, yeah.
And Dolores.
Also,
Tammy, first transaction, Tara.
the way to go
Tara.
at our office.
Right,
where's Bree?
a little sugar candy drive, one bag of candy, a raffle ticket.
No.
So thank you for everybody that brought candy. Sam tracked all of the names.
Yeah.
And been for a winner.
Yo, baby, some shoes. Get it. What kind of shoes?
Here's Shirley.
Shirley.
Where's she? Come here.
Yeah.
Did you know, you don't have to be present tonight. You do not have to be present tonight. So that is Shirley. If anybody knows Shirley.
We know
she's so
Shirley.
much back into culture. I really think that this is a great way.
Yeah, and Shirley, by the way, you guys donate every month, whether she has a transaction or not. She pulls it out of her monthly bill and donates to both Kids Can and KW Cares every month. So that is an option if you want to do that. Follow in Shirley's footsteps.
And she donated like 15 bags. She did 3 for her, 3 for Leon, 5 on top of it. She is fantastic. So. way to go,
Yay, Shirley.
She deserves it.
Yay.
Good news. Are you ready, everyone? Halloween event coming up. There's what's the good news? I don't know. Congratulations. Oh. Good news here.
I mentioned earlier, we want to congratulate SB Carnegie on their opportunity to move up to Colorado. It was quick sale for them. I mean, I think they sold their house in about 14 days.
They did well.
It was a quick close. So that being said, she's going to be in Colorado. She's still going to be handling all of our compliance. But we want you to have an in-house point of contact, and that's going to be Tony. Tony, you have been wonderful. And we are so excited for all of you.
Tony.
No. So hello, I already know most of you, have done a lot of deals with a lot of you already, for those who don't know me. I have been working with SB and been trained by SB. Super sad to see her go, but extremely happy for her and Karen to be able to start moving on and doing their life in the way that they want to be doing it. I will be your point of contact, be in the same office, same phone number. If you need anything, come see me. Call me, text me, shoot me an email, I'm always around. I look forward to doing it. I'll speak to the transaction.
Do it again.
The transactions in the hands, that's our email right now.
Okay.
Company's staying enhanced.
We're working on everything right now.
Yeah. Not that important, but yeah. TC stuff. All right, ALC spotlight, Raul, come on up, buddy.
Bring your chair.
Bring a chair,
Bring your chair.
couple chairs. Little chair, big chair.
We're gonna
Wanna stand?
Bobby, you got one.
Huh? Round table? You get up there, just ask a bunch of.
What do you mean, a couple chairs?
Jonathan up here too? Raul and I went to Vegas a couple weeks ago together at a investment seminar convention on flipping real estate and all important things. And I'm excited to hear more about Raul's business in general. So, all right, what made you get into real estate and how long have you been in the business?
It's kind of funny story that made me get into real estate. So I was in the process of buying and selling a home at the same time, and my agent totally sucked. You know, so I was like, you know, he didn't communicate, he didn't give me any updates. I was like, hey man, I see you're making good money. If you could do it, I'm sure I could do it, right? So I started picking his brain, and here I am. So I've been in the business 6 years now. Yeah, crazy fast.
Very cool. All right, where do you generate leads and what have you done to pivot during the current market?
So right now we're generating leads. We're targeting distressed homeowners. We have a software that we pull lists from, and then we're just calling them. So distressed homeowners such as properties that have liens or are behind on taxes, higher landlords, older people that live in a 2-story house that, you know, perhaps it's time for them to move to a single story. Got it.
So focusing on listings a lot.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
And are you pairing like buyers with that too, like other investors like buying it or just traditional homeowner kind of?
So we do a little bit of everything, right? So if it's a good deal, hey, because I'm buying too, right? So if it's a good deal that I could potentially buy myself, then I'll do that. That's the first option. If not, then yeah, we might lock up the deal and sell it to somebody else, and that's a potential buyer. Or third option would be just listing it, right, on the market.
Very cool. And then recently you got let's talk about like a seller financing deal with like a rental property, right?
Yeah. I just we locked up a deal in Knights Landing where it was actually a past client of mine. I just finished selling a house with his, and then he was like, hey, are you interested in selling this house or buying this house in Knights Landing? There was a Section 8 tenant in there, paying $2,200 a month. So I negotiated a deal where I'm gonna give him $15,000 up front. He's gonna seller finance the rest, and I'm gonna pay him $1,000 a month so I could cash flow about $1,200. And it's got a 5-year balloon payment.
Very cool. Very cool. Yeah. So I think one thing to note, like in this market, and I have a couple slides later talking about like wealth building and stuff like that. Raul's definitely like transitioning like the investing world. Like there's opportunities out there, right? With creative financing, with seller financing, with them carrying notes or assuming mortgages, things like that. There's a lot more details in it. But as I mentioned with the listing that I have coming up too, right? Sellers are open to these different options, right, to help move the property. So certainly something to keep in mind, whether it's or a traditional homeowner.
Similar loans it sounds like are gonna be big, you know, especially with VA loans. I've seen a couple listings where they're pitching that, yeah, you know, so something to think about. Just gotta get creative in this type of market
For sure. And that would be interesting. So you can go on MLS and you can search for the houses that have a box, creative financing, right? That could be a good opportunity. As I'm just talking through this, right? Like we had Luke and Afton and I, we have a buyer that's coming out of a 1031 exchange. Right off the bat, right? If a seller's open to creative financing, they're flexible, right? Whether it's price, terms, or whatever it is, they're more likely to do something a little different with that property to make it move. So that could be a good opportunity actually to search on MLS for that description.
Yeah.
Cool. So what motivates you every day?
So I have 2 little girls at home, 6 and 9. So it's just, you know, the fact that I'm able to provide for them, that I get to provide for them, the lifestyle that they deserve, and I'm able to do that for them, you know, that gets me going every day for sure, you know.
Cool. That's awesome. Yeah, every day I think it's just waking up, getting a routine going, or it's making contacts, making the calls, whatever it is. So
Yeah, for sure.
family's gotta be number one, and once get to be able to provide for them.
Yeah,
Cool,
for
cool,
sure.
cool. Anything else you wanna leave us with, or one little takeaway, or?
I just, you know, think that in this type of market, you just have to be very mindful of your mindset, right? Because there's a lot of negative talk out there right now. So, you know, if I could just say something, is just control what you can control, right? Like, you know, you can't control the market, right? So, you know, I'm going back to the fundamentals, you know, starting with the morning routine, just kind of, you know, starting the day off right and not watching any news, right? Because bunch of garbage. So just like I said, just control what you can control, and such that.
I got a question. What was your biggest takeaway from Vegas?
Well, as in from the investing side of things, you just have to be very careful, right now, because you know, if you're buying something that you think the after repair value is something today, 2 months from now, when you're done rehabbing the property, it could be totally, you know, totally different, you know. So if something is worth 300 today, in 2 months might be 250, you know, so you just have to be very careful and raise your standards when you buy.
For sure. Yeah, just recap again, like Raul and I just joined this coaching program that Raul's been in about a year or something like that. I think Brian Pineda. They do like 100+ flips a year. They have another program called the Wealthy Agent. Do crushes it on social media, but it's specifically for agents to buy properties and make sure that you're accumulating rentals as well. We're gonna talk about that a little more with some of the slides that I have, but it was a great event for sure. It's certainly like any little nugget that you can take away from somebody and different speakers in those type of events can be huge. And also you're starting Bold as well, so that's awesome.
Yeah,
Did you sign up for Bold?
I did, yeah.
All right, yeah. Anybody here in Bold? I love it. Good stuff, good stuff. I would definitely recommend it. Cody Gibson's probably one of the top 5 coaches in our company, and now more than ever is an amazing time to invest in yourself. As we all know, we got to get out there and do the actions to move the business forward. So, yep. Cool. Thank you, sir. Appreciate it, man.
No problem.
Yeah. All right, Market Center event, save the date. So we got spooky events coming up. Correct? Trunk or Treat, October 28th.
Only 2 weeks.
This is a massive event if you guys haven't been there. There's like thousands of people that come. And luckily it was moved outside because it used to be inside and there were lines around the corner, still lines around the corner. But it's not as congested inside, it's outside Trunk or Treat thing. So
And I totally forgot to pitch the culture committee, so we are looking for volunteers still. You know, we are looking for candy, and like your brother was saying, the event is gonna be outside. It's one of our most, you know, funnest events, so if you guys haven't participated, this is a great opportunity. If you have a trunk that you're interested in decorating, you know, we still have space, right?
Honestly, yeah, I don't see why we don't have the COVID standards that we did last year. Yes, we can squeeze you in. We have enough spot for 3 trunks available. I don't see us getting more than 5 or 6 from now in 2 weeks, you know, but we also have tons of non-trunk options, you know, if you want to come and help do traffic, help run candy, walk around and mingle with people, make sure everything's flowing correct. We need people, so absolutely.
I did, just for those of you that are in Bold, I did my Bold 100 at the Trunk
Yeah.
or Treat event last year, so food for thought, if you're doing your Bold 100,
Right.
go to
Yeah.
Trunk or Treat, get your Bold 100 in.
easy, and invite your clients. This is a great event to brand the flyer with your face, saying this is my event.
How do you
Kind of the whole
brand it,
reason why we do it,
So,
right?
oh, you brand it by emailing somebody for sure. Email Sam. Right? Sam's gonna take care of you. So if you want your face on that flyer, reach out to Sam. They always run out of candy, so definitely you guys should. Donate.
You can never have too much candy.
Never
Yeah,
get too
we
much
still
candy.
need donations, even though the raffle's over, we might have another gift if, you know,
We
who
need
knows?
more.
Yeah.
The white experience, and then we got something else, and boom, we're rolling. All right, the holiday party.
Wait,
December-
back to the white glove experience.
Yeah, the white glove experience. It's a white glove.
So for the white glove experience, this is one of Amy's friends, and somebody that she works with, Nicole Scott. She's gonna come in and teach us how to structure and organize our business for maximum efficiency and to gain back time. She's gonna show us how to change your role as a real estate agent from reactive to proactive, from salesperson to business professional. And then you'll be able to get more referrals, master the finer details, and create an unforgettable experience for your clients. So this is in person only, November 3rd. We would really like to see you guys here.
Very
Is
good.
it here at the Pharaoh's office?
No, this is here.
Okay.
Oh,
This is here. We will be doing one at the Pharaoh's office as well. This is the one for here.
Cool.
So it's on November 3rd from 10 to 11. She will be providing refreshments, so should be a good 1-hour class.
Sweet.
Holiday party as well.
That sounds great. Holiday party at the Sequoia. I haven't been there, saw some pictures. Sounds very nice. December 2nd. Lots of fun stuff and a gift exchange. So mark your calendars.
Photo booth, we're gonna have a surprise Christmas themed gift.
Shuffleboard.
Shuffleboard, ping
I like
pong,
shuffleboard.
cornhole for Taylor specifically.
Practice my talk.
Tickets are $25. Yeah.
Cool. Regional events coming up. Jason Abrams, if I'm not mistaken, is coming Thursdays. Is that right? School is cool. Okay. He's coming like every
No,
Thursday.
so
moving
every
forward?
Thursday is the webinar. He's going over all of the models.
Okay.
Very valuable for new agents. Yeah, it's an every Thursday webinar. So
And-
the days that we don't have team meetings.
Right.
That's it.
And Jason Abrams is like head maps coach in our company, so he's pretty legit.
Yeah, he's the head of industry and learning for KWRI. And I will say, it's not just for new agents, they're gonna go over all systems and models, and it's a great refresher course even for producing agents to really reignite those systems and models that we use.
Yeah, definitely a good time to double down on our skills. Shift with James Shaw, November 7th in Concord.
That one's also, the market center has covered half of your cost, so it is now only $50 to attend, I believe.
Wow.
So definitely something to take advantage of, all day workshop.
$50, good
Yeah.
deal. And then family reunion is in Anaheim. We can all carpool for your kids.
I heard John was
Fly
getting a
down.
party bus.
$7.
Party bus, big party bus.
Party bus. That could be uncomfortable. That'd be great. Cool.
Just rent
You bring the kids on there too, or what?
We're gonna try to
Screaming
hold
babies, 4-year-olds, 10-year-olds, teenagers, let's go.
Yep.
Moving forward.
Exactly.
All right, so Sam asked me to put a quick little 10-minute spiel together. So that's what we're gonna do. And so John and I did a class last fall that was talking about creating wealth and talked about saving money and putting money in the S&P or various stocks and markets and things like that. And this has nothing to do with that. So this is more on creating wealth with real estate, which after I've seen this year and the market drop 25% in the S&P 500, we're gonna look at some stats. Most of the wealth that I've been able to create is through rental properties. So we'll talk a little bit about myself and then properties that we've been able to do. So just a little background on myself, my team. I flipped about 60 homes so far in my career. Pre-Acton, I used to sell about 30 to 40 homes. And quickly I discovered that flipping and sales is a job. And I really wanted to, when I say pre-Acton, because our team's selling a few more homes than 40 homes right now. But anyways. Wealth is created through owning properties, right? So I want us all to really give this some more thought as we're going into this shift. There's opportunity out there. Just as Raul just mentioned, you got a seller financing deal, put minimal or no money down. I think it's like under $10,000, and he's got a cash flowing property that's going to be a long-term asset. The first 3 properties that I ever bought, one was a house hack, right? Owner occupied financing. I've been talking with Luke about this. You guys should talk to your other clients about this. Using that FHA loan or conventional, rent one side out, rent out, or live in the other, rent one side out, and you can even rent out the other. That's
Like duplex.
like a duplex, multi-family type property. House hack. I had a botch flip. We'll go into like the Burr method a little bit and kept that property. I had a lot split that actually Raul got me about 5 years ago, working with other agents. That has been a fairly lucrative property. Moral of the story, a lot of the flips that I've done, I wish I would have kept more properties, right? There was a number of good flips that I've done that maybe I needed the money at the time. But obviously the market's taken off and there's been a lot of opportunities if I would have been able to keep some of those properties. Currently, we have 34 properties in our portfolio, and I wanted to talk about the shifting market once again. And our investors still buying, and they are. We're helping a handful of investors right now, but I think it's getting more creative on how you're talking to these folks about what would be an appealing property and different ways to look at it. So the stock market's down 25% year over year, or year to date, if you guys can keep an eye on some of that stuff.
Yeah.
Real estate is basically flat right now. I think I saw Ryan Lundquist say that we're 2% appreciation year over year, and we're gonna continue to decline. So that's a wrap. That's it. So shipping market inventory is around 2.2 months. I had some slides to kind of look into that. I think something that's interesting that you guys can go on the Sacramento Real Estate Association and look at past years. I sent this in chat the other day, but take a look at what happened, where our inventory was in September, in 2020 in September, in 2019 in September, in 2018 in September, in 2017, right? Like last year, this year over year stats, they weren't normal, right? So normally in the fall, we do have hovering around 1.8 to 2 months of inventory. So something to keep in mind that this guy isn't 100%. It's falling a little bit, right? It's falling a lot. Pennies are down 20%. Inflation is up 8%. I just saw that inflation went up 4% or 0.4% today. I don't know if you guys follow the news on that.
Yeah.
We mentioned to not be in touch with that. Interest rates around 6 or 7%. So what does all this mean? There's opportunity in the market. At the end of the day, most jobs and most realtors struggle creating wealth. Millionaires are created through real estate majority of the time, right? Chad and I were talking about this, about all this. Should we be scared right now of purchasing properties, having rental properties, expanding this portfolio? And at the end of the day, 10 years ago, 12 years ago, whatever the time was, when Bruce was doing a bunch of short sales and REOs, that's when thousands and millions of millionaires were made because they got great deals on their properties. Well, we're entering a market right now that's going to give us opportunities right now, right? We haven't seen like a buyer's market in 2 years, maybe 5 years, maybe 10 years. People are flexible right now. There's creative financing out there. I think this is just kind of a couple slides for us to look at different ways to think about these. Oh, this was a Gary Keller. I spelled weed wrong. It's 2 E's. Weed, deals every day. Gary Keller told me about 5 years ago that told me personally. No, he's explained to everybody at family reunion. Like, we're first in line when we're looking at these properties, right? Don't always ship it off to the buyer, right? How can we look at this, strategize, and figure out a way to purchase that property? Buy and wait is a great way to become a millionaire. Invest in yourself. What skills are you learning right now? I think this is just like a double down. Like, I think I was very reluctant to join this coaching program that Raul is in. I'm like, I don't want to spend that money. And at the end of the day, I got a couple little nuggets from it. Getting in a room, masterminding with a lot of people that make way more money than me, people that have way more properties than me, is only going to level you up. So really, it's a time to invest in yourself, get involved, whatever the classes are, whatever the coaching courses are, spend the money, right? It's time to double down on our own skills. You're going to get a much better return investing in your own business and yourself than you are in the stock market right now. I wanted to talk about this opportunity I said to you about. Gun Road was in it. I got a lead on a deal the other day. It was this crazy scenario, right? That people, there's desperation out there to an extent. This property was listed for $600,000 on MLS September 14th. They dropped the price $70,000 in 3 days. A wholesaler, you guys are somewhat familiar with that, someone that ties up the property, tries to ship it out to another buyer, locked the deal up for $430,000, $170,000 less than asking price within 10 days of it listed. The wholesaler didn't perform. They called me, asked if I wanted to buy the property for $390,000, $210,000 less than asking within 3 weeks. These deals are out there. I'm telling you guys, like, there's going to be opportunity for us, for you, for your buyers, if we're looking at it the right way, if you're consistently making offers. And I think something I was talking with Luke about, like, go on MLS and look at those price drops. Like, look at the ones that are doing drastic price drops, because they're probably a little desperate. Same thing with looking at the creative financing description. They're probably on the success rate, but they're motivated, right? Very motivated. So opportunities are out there. We're gonna talk about a little bit about buy properties. And I just mentioned like the group that we signed up for, Raul and I, they have a wealthy agent mastermind group. I think it was about $4,000 or something, but it's all about agents, weekly calls about finding ways to figure out how we're gonna buy properties instead of continuing to fish them over to our buyers. But the tax benefits, the creating the wealth, period, you create wealth that way. The headaches, you do have a lot of headaches with owning rental properties. But that's okay at the end of the day because you're leverage your properties for equity, leverage your properties equity. When you start making money, you want to find ways to keep the money. After and I had a great tax year, whatever, we made pretty good money last year, right? And this year, finally, because of our rental properties, we're able to pay way less in taxes because of a couple methods that we're gonna go over. And I was shocked at the end of the day how little we were able to contribute to the IRS this year compared to the past because of the different strategies we've done, buying properties, using the BRRRR method, and doing a cost segregation. So we'll talk a little bit about that. So how we creatively purchase properties. You guys have probably heard this, but it's called BRRRR method, whatever. Buy, rehab, refinance, repeat method. This is the best tax saving. After and I were driving to Vacaville like a couple weeks ago, and I had like a big aha about this. So generally, how you do this, you purchase property with a hard money loan. You get my mortgage license, you do hard money loans. You guys have questions on it. Lender gives you the rehab funds, right? So I'm gonna go over a scenario, but on these properties, the lender gives us money to repair the property. You generally you put 10% down on the purchase of the fixture cost, and then they give you money for the repairs. You need 10%. You can write off majority of the rehab costs that you put in these properties, majority of the repairs that you put in the property. One was bonus depreciation, which Donald Trump put in a law about 4 or 5, 6, whatever years ago. They are going to go away with it, but the last 4 years, there's been amazing tax benefits for doing this method, the BRRRR method. We can write off almost 100% of the money that you're putting into your property. Talk to your CPA. You can't write off everything, but pretty close. Bonus depreciation. So I wanted to look at 2 different types of investors, right? If you're talking to the people that you're working with, and just different ways to evaluate a property as the cash flowing properties may not be there, they aren't there. It's almost impossible to cash flow properties at 7% right now if you're going through the general scenario. And if you buy a property at $500,000, right? So you go for a couple hours, and you put 20% down, right? You put 100,000 down, whatever it is. You don't have any write-offs, right? You're gonna have your standard depreciation of about 3%. Potentially, you could do like a cost segregation, which we could talk about a bit more if you guys have questions. But essentially, you're not gonna have the write-off. But if you do the BRRRR method in the same scenario, if you buy a property for $350,000 and you put $70,000 into the property, you can write off the improvements, right? You have nearly, not the entire thing, but you're gonna be able to do roughly a $50,000 or $70,000 write-off, which is gonna help you keep more money in your pocket that you're earning anyway. So we recently did a cost segregation, and that was why we were able to save so much on our taxes. And essentially, it's like an engineering analysis that looks at your rental properties and analyzes how long the cabinets are good for, how long the kitchen sink, the countertops, the appliances, the bathroom, the toilet tub, all this thing. They put a yearly amount on it so you can depreciate it a certain percentage. Anyways, we were able to eliminate a lot of taxes that we would have been paying because of the rental property, because of this BRRRR method, and because of utilizing the cost segregation analysis. Any questions on any of that? I'm going pretty quick there. Thanks for asking the question.
Yeah.
There we go.
So you move really fast. here.
Really quick, I got 5 minutes.
Right.
2 minutes.
Does the class go to 12:30? You're fine, you're fine,
Oh.
you're fine.
I got plenty of time. Let's slow down. Sorry. Let's slow them on.
So you've got a ton of different methods you've got a few different methods for acquiring properties to build wealth. And then you've got additional methods for saving in taxes, being that we're realtors, we pay a ton in taxes, right? So not only do you use your rental properties to build wealth, you also use those rental properties to
have tax savings every year. And one of those is doing accelerated, or the bonus depreciation and the cost segregation. And those are, so can you talk a little bit more, like slow it down and go into like what a cost segregation is? I guess, because I know what these are, but I just need you to slow it down a little bit.
So the cost segregation, we paid a third-party company to do an analysis on our rental properties. So they're essentially like almost an engineering firm that determines, they go into the, we did 4 of these bird properties last year. And they went into this triplex and they saw that we put new flooring, new cabinets, new this, that, and the other. And they essentially assigned the value to it of how long it would depreciate, right? This flooring is only gonna last 5 years. So they allow you to appreciate it essentially 20%, right? This kitchen is gonna only last 7 years. So they let you depreciate it at that amount. So generally, when you do a depreciation on a rental property, it's you're allowed to depreciate 27.5 years, right? So that means that you take the value of the property, if it was $500,000, and you divide that by 27.5, it ends up being about 3% annually. That's the most you can depreciate a property generally, unless you do like a cost segregation analysis. You can accelerate the depreciation to give you more write-offs, but it essentially assigns a length of time of how long the kitchen, the bathroom, the roof, the windows, whatever it is going to last.
So instead of the depreciation, be able to write off the depreciation for 27.5 years,
Accelerate it.
you're accelerating it. So how many years can you write off the depreciation on property if it's accelerator?
So everything's going to vary. So the kitchen, let's say, for example, would be about 7 years.
Okay.
That's what they determine. The floors, maybe 5. And then there's things, the carpet, the paint, the dry rot, the appliances, a number of other things you can take immediately.
So do you do a cost segregation every year for those same properties, or do you only do it once for those properties?
You only do it once for the properties.
Okay.
And then the following year, if you're buying more properties, like we bought another, acquired another property this year, we'll likely do a cost segregation on that property and have more write-offs for that one.
Okay.
Yes.
I'm just gonna ask, how much does it cost to hire the third party to do that?
I think it's about $1,000 for a duplex. I found a pretty good company actually, and Nicole called me. I wasn't on their list. But anyways, I think it's about $1,000 for a duplex. I think in general, I think I paid, it was a decent amount. It was like $5,000, but I did it on 4 properties. But like I said, we had pretty substantial tax breaks. Yes.
Have you either done or thought about, or do you have an opinion on buying these, buy and hold through a Roth IRA?
So my dad did that. I heard on podcasts about that option because, yeah, right. And I was talking with Ethan about this, like our retirement, our IRA, whatever is tanking. It's down like 25-30% or whatever, just this year. And it could get worse. So I was like, should we move this money, combine ours and go buy a property? So a Roth, did you say Roth? Roth. Is that a self-directed though, you mean?
Self-directed Roth, and it's after, Roth is after tax money.
Okay, so the self-directed is your retirement vehicle of your account can buy real estate, right? The problem or the thing that doesn't have the benefits is because it's not in your name, I don't believe you get all the tax benefits, right? It's in your trust's account. It's in your Roth's account. But if it's in a Roth, it could be a little different
You're
because
right.
it's after tax dollars.
Depreciation or anything.
Correct.
But when you hit retirement age, you get to take everything out of it tax free.
Right. So there could be so the tax saving benefits probably won't be there, but to do the Burr method and to do a whole, I think 100%, it's a good idea to have properties in there. So the moral of the story for me, and I do 2 more slides, is that I don't know anything about the stock market. And I put money in there annually, and I just like the S&P 500, that's what Warren Buffett, that's what Tony Robbins, that's what these guys say to do. Put 500 or 1,000 or whatever amount of dollars you put in there a year, right? And then you're just relying on the top companies, right? Well, I'm able to find better deals, and I trust my own instincts on these deals with, various methods, but also as the market is shifting, using your retirement funds, as Bruce said, it is a good idea to find properties that could be in your retirement portfolio. Anyway, I trust my ability to find fixers, find good deals than I do, the stock market really. Have you done anything with self-directed?
Yeah, I've got two in a self-directed garage. They're in Ohio. I've never been to Ohio.
Sure.
It's
Cold.
Yeah. I just get the checks and then mail them off to my IRA.
Yeah, so my dad bought a property back in 2011 or 10 or something like that, and it's self-directed. And he had a really good experience, bought a house for like 100,000. Of course, the market went up crazy and he sold it for 300,000, plus all the rent went into this account. So it is a good tool to utilize. I think the last couple of years, what's tough is when values get so high, and let's say you have 100 or 200 or $300,000 in your self-directed, and the property costs 500,000, right? You can't get a loan in your name. So the problem is you need a non-recourse loan, what other terms going on here, that lends on the equity, not you. And that was the problem, like my dad and I, let's leverage that money. And of course I have my investor cap going on. But the hard thing is finding a lender that will utilize those funds, not attached to him, only to the property. There are some loans, but that could be something. So in Ohio, and maybe as the market goes down a little more, you have some more options to utilize those funds, unless you got like $1 million and they're top of $1,000. Those are good options. So yes, as Afton said, in this, there's obviously a couple different options in this scenario. If you buy it for $350, you put 70 into it, there's maybe $80,000 of equity. You can sell that and pay the realtor fees and pay this fee and that fee, or you can just keep it. And at that point, you have maybe $50,000 or $80,000 of equity, right? And you have the benefits of all the tax write-offs because you put money into the repairs and you're able to write those off. So just a good way for you to keep money in your pocket. So recent scenario that we had, just wanted to reference this. We bought a 5-unit property in March 2 years ago. It was a really good deal. We call it the COVID special. It was $180,000 for 5 unit property. It was in Maryville, not in Sacramento, kind of like Ohio. Probably a little worse, maybe better. We put $175,000 in the property. This was a lot, but the lender gave us majority of the rehab funds for the property, right? We bought this property, it was about 10 or 15% down. We only put like $40,000 down on this property. And then we were able to write off about $80,000, about 50% of the money that we put into it. So we had a huge tax break on the property. The property appraised at $600,000. This is just how you can leverage your equity in some different ways to think about it. We pulled the money out, and then we were able to purchase a 14-unit apartment in Rio Linda. This was another pretty big tax break. So I reference this because there's a lot of different scenarios that you can look at for these properties that you can add value. You can take the money out and you can have a tax break. So what were the ahas on this? You don't pay taxes on cash out refunds, right? You don't pay taxes. If I were to just flip that property and if I made whatever, 50,000, 80,000, whatever, I would have paid 30 to 40% in general, right? On that profit. If you do a cash out refi, you don't pay taxes. Eventually you gotta pay the piper or whatever, but at point being in the immediate time, you don't pay the taxes. Also, you leverage current properties to build wealth by buying other properties. Build more wealth by buying another property. So we did this scenario, we kept the property, we pulled the equity out, we didn't pay taxes on that, we got a tax break, plus we were able to buy another property. Now we have an even larger tax breaks in depreciation. Moral of the story, again, what the moral of the story, is we're going into a recession here where there's going to be opportunities to find properties similar to this.
So question on this, like, so so we bought the property.
We did.
For $180,000, we put $40,000
Down.
total. Wait, so we put $175,000 into it. Was all that 175 part of the down payment?
No, the lender
The
gave
lender-
us a loan for about 300,000 or 320,000.
Total.
Right, so they gave us money
So we,
for the
so
rehab.
out of that $320, 180 went to the purchase, and the rest of it went to the rehab, updating the property.
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah, so I think, the point is that you can do these hard money loans, use the money that they're giving you, right? You don't even have this money to have a large tax break. And then you can have some
So
equity.
our mortgage amount was on 320,000.
It's a little higher than that, it's like 400,000.
What is after the rehab,
The initial loan was about 320,000,
and then we did a re.
and then we did a cash out refi. Did you have a question back there? Okay, we're moving now. Sam, is there another slide? Wrap it up, all right, let's finish this. There are significant opportunities in the market. Who's gonna grab them? You said earlier, real estate creates more millionaires than any other industry. Be creative. Do the house hacks, seller financing, the first strategy, utilize hard money, seller carries, and partner up. This was I convinced Afton to sell like her home that she had for like 5 years before we met. She had like $150,000 in equity. I was like, there's so many more opportunities out here. So forced her to sell it. Just kidding, talked into it. And then we were able to buy 3 properties with that money, using the burst strategy. We're able to put about 10 units in our portfolio versus originally. She just had one that in her mind she wanted to keep because she could pay it off, and in 30 years, gonna have paid off property that's all pretty but no farming. And I said, no, we're gonna find some other opportunities. So, and keep your hard-earned money, don't spend it. Looking for property is gonna help you have tax breaks. So that's all I got. I think you guys have some couple more questions. Sam?
I actually have all this stuff pulled up if you want me to, in chat, if you know what he's looking at, because I don't.
Oh, those stats, when you want to keep this rolling?
I mean, we have time. if
I can
anybody
pull it up.
wants it.
Really quickly, I just wanted to look at the history in September. Luke, what do you got?
Book ideas for investing in real estate.
What's that?
Got any book ideas for investing?
Book ideas. There was The Long Distance Investor by David Green. You guys don't want to buy properties in California. I think Brandon Turner had one. These guys are Bigger Pockets hosts, and it's a great resource to get consistent information. But Brandon Turner wrote Zero Money Down Investing, and that's all about like leveraging other people's money.
What is Bigger Pocket?
Podcasts specifically on investing in real estate. So they talk about Airbnbs, house hacks, people own thousands of units on there. They on mobile home parks, they do flips, all of the above. There's 700 episodes, lots of good content on there. Did you get the book down?
Brain has the Bird book, you know.
Bird book.
goes into
Yeah. If you go on the Bigger Pockets website, there's forums that have a ton of good information on there. You can learn people, but also like they have their staff writes a number of books, and Burr Method and Long Distance Investing, Zero Money Down, ton of different stuff. Thanks.
Is this it? You want 2022?
I was just quickly gonna look at all of these because I'm like a stat nerd, and obviously I'm looking at what's going on in
For you, my friend.
the market currently, and then what's going on in the past. So I thought this was interesting. I was on a call the other day, and they're looking at the history of the market. So this is 2022. This is on the Realtor Association's website. And obviously you have last year's numbers here, and then you got current month, and then last month. So our inventory is around 2 months, right? It's increased about a month, right? We're well aware of what's going on right now. I think my point is that I was curious of what was going on in 2019, 2018, 2017. So just to kind of give some perspective of what those markets look like. And obviously we're in like a different time right now with the interest rate issue that we got going on. But 2020 this is during COVID, so we had 0.7 months of inventory, which we're well aware during the pandemic. A lot of people weren't listing properties, plus rates were great. 2019, right? 1.8 months of inventory. And then the year before was 2.5. Looking at these though, I was kind of generally curious on like what were sales doing then? So 1380, how many sales they had? And then how many pendings? So they had 1800 pendings. And just to give you perspective, now we're low. We're at 1100 pendings. So that's 2019, and then looking at 2018. 2018, we only had 1,000 pendings in a month. And the sales were 1,200. And we had 2.5 months of inventory. I think I was kind of curious on 2017 as well. Just point being, like, there were other years that had similar activity to where we're at right now. So obviously, it's all going to be interesting to keep an eye on. Markets are turning into like a seasonal time frame. Going into the fall, things slow down generally. Inventory generally does go up in this time. We have serious issues with inflation and interest rates and stuff like that. But if you go on Sacramento Association's website, you can go back to like 2017, 16, 15. I think they go back like 20 years or something like that. I like to geek out and I lose sleep over this stuff because I'm curious, like what kind of trends and or what are numbers looking like back 10, 15 years ago, right? When we had like a significant crash. And Raul was just talking about like Gary Keller and Cody yesterday in Gold said that they're possibly preparing for a 40% drop in prices, which I thought was huge, bananas, right? Kind of another thing, like having these consistent conversations with mastermind groups, peers, thrillers, things like that, keeping an eye on the market is important.
I've actually got all of these stats in a huge Excel spreadsheet that my partner and I put together going back about 15 years.
Yeah.
So if you'd like
I like it, yeah, something organized, because I just go on, this website, I'll sometimes pick it up, and I'm curious on what happened in like this month, 6 years ago, and where did you start seeing the trends? I think that is something that I really was looking at. Like everyone's like, thinking about this crash, but back in 2007 or 8 or whatever it was, like seeing the monthly inventory starting to go up. And then when the prices really went down, it's pretty interesting to watch. Like,
curve like that,
yeah,
and then it came back up.
right. But it's something to be aware of, right? Like, oh, we're 2.2 months, whatever. It gets up to 3, it gets up to 4, and things like that. Of months of inventory, obviously we have big issues, but overall, keeping an eye on pendings. Say pendings at the end of the day, right? Sales are last month. Where are the pendings at? What's that activity level compared to this?
So for everything you're looking at, what's it telling? You? What are you interpreting? Or are you just curious to watch it?
I was curious to watch it. It's hard to say because like you can look at trends, but you can also look at there's news every day that's affecting the market, right? So on the coaching call that I was on recently, there was a big transfer like in activity at the beginning of mid-September or something like that, right? And that's when like the Fed came out again, like, no, they're still going to put the gas on increase in interest rates and things like that. I think when you're seeing in July, when rates came down, August had a good month because rates went back down to like 5 or high 4s or something like that. Now we're stuck in 7%. Inflation is looking really bad. So these are outliers that are likely going to continue to make the market tougher to navigate in. But the fact that there's only 2.2 months is a good sign to me that there's still low inventory per se, right? We're not seeing crazy price drop. We're seeing about 2% monthly consistently in price drop. And it's probably going to continue to go. But another point to that. Wait a minute. Any questions on this? Yeah, I think that's all I got. Good job. Yeah. Oh, Barry Habib came on the other day. I don't know if you guys have heard of that guy. It's mastermind. Yes, he's like a lender that is very well known throughout the country, and he's talking about rates could go back down to 5%. I really don't see how that's possible with how inflation is continuing to tick up, right? We just had 4% increase in inflation, CPI, which is a bad sign, because anytime inflation continues to go up, right, then the Fed's gonna come out and likely continue to increase interest rates. The problem is like, how far can we go? The only reason we're not in this significant crash, which is kind of my argument to like Cody and Keller and Gary, is that things would be way worse if all these homeowners that are in homes didn't have like 3% interest rate, right? Where are they gonna go? They can't sell and get a better deal. Like, you don't have enough homes to crash the market. It's all supply and demand at the end of the day. I feel like our market is certainly gonna have a good correction, probably 10% down next year. But one thing to note, like this year, we don't have a decrease in prices yet. We're probably gonna be flat at the end of the year. And then next year, maybe we'll have, 10% drop or something.
I would just point out that when the interest rates for mortgages were 16 and 17%, people were still buying homes.
So why not? Yeah. And I think that too, like if I go back to the 2022, there's 1,100 sales, right? There's still people buying homes. And this is in Sacramento and in West Sac, like 1,100 deals are still out there. Like if you're pricing it right and being moderately aggressive on that, and on the buyer side, you have leverage to get a decent deal, as you mentioned, like there's opportunity out there. So anyways, we're gonna keep going. Ron, what we got?
All right, quick question. So just wanted to ask, what's your strategy moving forward as far as investing? Like, are you trying to flip more? Are you trying to do more rent, keeps? What's the strategy moving forward for you?
Great question. I don't know. So certainly as Raul references on the video, I'm analyzing properties that it's gonna be a 10% drop. So if I'm buying a property today, I want to run my numbers anticipating that the market's gonna go down 10% in the next 4 to 5 months. I'm still buying properties. We got like 4 in construction right now. I'm definitely, this is something Chad and I are gonna look at, is analyzing what price ranges are doing better, right? It's obviously 300,000 to 400,000. Like looking at these stats, but getting more condensed with them, right? Like 300,000 to 400,000, where are the sales there? What's the activity there? 4 to 5, right? Where do we want to stay away from? Well, I got a house in East Sac for 800,000. It's not selling. I don't want to do those anymore. So things like that for sure. Probably pairing them more and working with buyers and connecting them with sellers. Like some people don't want to do the traditional listing. Like we had a house that we just cleared out that was a complete order house. Like they don't want to list their property on MLS, but you still have buyers that you can pair them and work the transaction out there. Certainly kind of not going to hold as many flips unless they're more lucrative deals. And I'm still buying properties for sure to rent, to hold.
So you'll lock something up, and depending on what the numbers look like, that's how you come up with your exit strategy, right?
Not like locking it up per se, like getting a contract, but if I have a buyer that's willing to buy it, right? Yeah, just show them a couple of them, then we'll kind of make an offer type thing. That's kind of that strategy, yeah. But still, looking for a home and stuff. And I think at the end of the day, like that whole strategy when you're looking at buying homes, and I was talking with Luke about this with one of our buyers, like things aren't going to cash flow right now for an investor. But are you willing to do like an interest-only loan? Right? If you do an interest-only loan for a 5-year, 7-year, 10-year arm, and you talk to your buyer about that, then they can save $400 or $500 on the principal. Right? So it's a way for them to maybe keep the ball rolling, especially if they're doing 1031 exchanges. They need to buy something like, hey, here's your cash flow. You can either break even or maybe you can make a little bit that way. And, once again, doing that burst strategy, like if you're keeping the property and you're losing a couple $100 a month, right? But you're having like a $50,000 tax break and you just had $50,000 in equity without saving it, but you're losing a couple $100 a month if it works in your scenario of what you're doing. Like it's okay to lose a little bit here, but you're gaining so much here. There's different ways to look at it. Any other questions? Bye, guys. Bye, Zoom. Thanks for hanging out. Go buy one. Yeah. This meeting was 25% of my meeting. Hey,